Hello again. This is a tutorial about LogicBoxes, which are a sequencing device in Audiocube, primarily used for generative and experimental sequencing. So these are a lot of fun to play around with, and they can help you to sequence things in ways that you would not be able to do in any other DAW, due to the way they work. So you just create them up here, and again, these don't do anything on their own, but when you connect them with other devices, that's when the magic happens. So I'll just run you through all the basics. There are, I think, is that six? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 modes, which I'll explain and demonstrate: pulse, chain, chord, split, cycle, and stopper. And these are sort of influenced by logic processes. So let's start with something basic. Let's go for this, and we will do it in an emitter. So again, this is a bit quiet. Actually, no, let's do a sampler, sorry. So, create your logic box, double click to enter connection mode, and then you can just click to connect or disconnect a device, and then click back on the logic box to exit connection mode, and then just click on it to open up the logic editor. So pulse just sends a pulse, like an instant trigger. You can either press spacebar, or you got the other stop trigger connection mode. You can activate it from here. Disconnect all, and clone. So now let's, oh yeah, and you can also create the different types from here. So you can, let's look at these. So yeah, pulse. Let's create a few of these just to demonstrate. So pulse will send a trigger message. You also have chord, which is actually identical, but the theory is that chords will be designed for creating chords. But I mean, pulse works in the same way, but it's nice to just have a different device. Now we have chain, and what this does is it sends a message which takes this length of time to reach the connected devices. So it can be quite nice to connect these up. Let's get another chain. You can really see let's turn meshes off. Which is just the start of sort of showing the complexity. Another mode you have is split, and what this does is it will only send a trigger to one of the connected devices. So you'll see that the two lines will go black for the ones that but perhaps a nice way to demonstrate how this is working is to disconnect these, then create a bunch of chains. 2, 3. Let's go bird's eye view. And so yeah, you can use this to create some really interesting stuff. It's maybe better like this. So yeah, I mean, they're a lot of fun for building kind of self-perpetuating generative machines with randomness and like interconnection. So yeah, I mean, you should be able to see how that works. So it's random. Yeah, the splitter will send it randomly to any. And then you can power these with a ticker, so it automatically will just get pulsed. Let's look at some more advanced ones. Pardon me. So some of the other ones we have is cycle. Let's stop this. So let's change this split to cycle, and then you'll see it's basically waits for this amount of time between sending a pulse to each one, and it does it in the order that they were connected to. So first, second, third. So yeah, I mean, you can, especially when you mix it with the sort of randomness of the emitter devices, you can get some really cool randomized stuff. So let's change this to split because it was quite nice. And then the final type is a stopper. Now, this just sends a stop message to any connected device. So it could stop a sampler, it could clear the emitter, or it could stop a ticker. So let's say do this. So the split has a chance of sending it to the stop. So we'll just see when this one gets triggered by random. It should eventually happen. There you go. So you see it's now stopped the ticker, which is like the engine. Because it's all random. So because that is happening a bit too often, let's create a second split. So, I mean, you can create some really interesting music with this. I will release a video just me playing the instrument rather than like talking and explaining stuff. But yeah, I mean, it can get a bit complicated. But I mean, as you know, it's good to have a bit of complication, possibly. So there is a chance that eventually it will stop. Let's also make it have a bit of a potential feedback loop. So there we go, it stopped it then. So I can just leave this now and it's always going to be slightly different. It looks kind of nice too. Yeah, I mean, you can really create any kind of generative music you want with this. And it's quite mesmerizing. That curve is everything. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that covers everything with LogicBoxes. They are a lot of fun to use, and yeah, I mean, them linked with tickers and emitters give you a lot of sort of generative, randomized ambient music capability. So, the core of what Audiocube's about. See you in the next video.